Welcome to Notes from the Not There Yet, a podcast for those navigating life's messy middle. Not lost, not arrived, just not there yet. It's the real stories, real life, and relevant journeys that you can actually relate to. It's for the creatives, the seekers, the doers, and the dreamers. If you've ever asked yourself, is this it or what's next? Then this is the podcast for you. We don't have it all figured out yet, and that's the point. All right, let's dig in. Hello. So today's episode is a really special one for me because I'm going to be joined by one of my closest friends, Sarah Healey. Sarah is someone that I've had the privilege of cheerleading from the sidelines since being together in secondary school. And honestly, she's someone that I've learned so much from along the way. Sarah's a registered nutritionist based in Manchester, and she's been in the industry since pretty much before it was trendy. From those early days when nutrition wasn't really a thing to now becoming the person that leads and influences millions of children's meals every year. Sarah's journey is one of persistence, personal growth, development, and quite consistent influence. And what I love most about Sarah isn't just the fact that she's got such a massive scale of impact in terms of nutrition, but it's her empathy, her human approach to nutrition, and the fact that she's evidence-led, she's real, she's approachable. And that's more so now than ever because she's become a mum herself. She gets the pressure parents are feeling around food, and she understands that a lot of the noise on social media can be harmful. And she's passionate about making nutrition doable, practical, and real. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Sarah's journey into nutrition, handling responsibility, and advice on stepping into a role that potentially feels too big for you, how to navigate nutrition in today's world of crazy social media, the impact social media has had on the nutrition industry, and simple changes Sarah believes that you can make that'll have the biggest difference and impact on families, athletes, and anyone who's not there yet when it comes to their own personal nutrition and their general health practices. If you enjoy this episode and you get value from it, please share it. Please give us a follow. We are at the Not There Yet Project and at the Not There Yet Project.co.uk. Alrighty, let's dig in. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today.
No problem.
So, nutrition and the world of nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So you started almost way before it was like trendy and kind of in the sphere that it is today.
Yeah.
And you've kind of described as going to uni as like a Mickey Mouse course and like doing it that way. Why do you call it like a Mickey Mouse course? Like what?
Because it kind of was at the time. I think everyone, especially in mine and like your friendship group, like everyone was doing biomedical science or law, and nutrition was just kind of, okay, well, what is that? Is it a science? Do you know, is it like food technology? So it was very much seen as a bit of a Mickey Mouse, like a bit of a cop-out course at the time. But actually, the course was so scientific. Like there was so much to do. I had to have like biology to even go to the course. So it wasn't a Mickey Mouse course, but it was just perceived as that, I think.
Yeah.
And you had everyone asking like, well, what is that?
And how did that feel? Because that's quite, like in the sense of like you say, like quite a few of us in our friendship group, like I did law and people doing teaching and like all the different degrees that we did. But how did that feel if you're kind of almost perceiving that in that way yourself? Was that like a pressure?
Not really, no, because I wasn't sure if I even wanted to go to university at like 17 anyway. So
we're so young, aren't we?
Yeah, like, it's really hard. Like my nephew's trying to find out what he wants to do now, and it just take me back, and you just think you really don't know, do you? So I didn't actually. I was just excited to go to university because everybody else was.
Yeah.
And I did actually. It was something that I was actually really interested in as well. So that helps. Like it was something that I was just interested from going to the gym, and I was excited to see what would happen with that. And I loved that it was a science degree because it felt quite special that it was when I was maybe not that student that would go and do biomedical science at university. So I was actually quite proud that I went to do that.
Yeah, and I guess like for people like your nephew that's looking right now, like going for something that's actually you're interested in and have a genuine vested interest is so much better than almost like what I did. Like I was like, my dad and my granddad were like, you need to do a proper degree, and I did law just because I was annoyed and rebellious. But
no, but that external pressure as well. Like, at that age.
Yeah, and it is a lot of external pressure. So I feel like kind of going for something that's genuine and vested interest worked well.
Yeah.
And it worked for you, clearly.
Yeah, because we knew people that dropped out because it just wasn't for them. And I actually just loved it every year that passed. So yeah, it was. I definitely would say like follow your heart in that way because it's so hard. Like A-levels are hard, so you've got to really want to be able to go and do what you want to do. And when you're at university, I mean, it's a real good fun, but it is really difficult as well.
Yeah, it's tough. And so it's 3 years of your life. Yeah. Like, and actually 3 quite important years, like 18 to 21. You actually change quite a lot in that time.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You really do. You really do.
So it's not something to like necessarily take lightly, but make sure you do something that's interesting for you. So obviously you went through uni, loved it, which is good. Came out the other end. A lot of job applying at the time, and like you say, because like you've said, because it was a industry, let's say, that wasn't in the public sphere as much as it was now. Like, what was that like when you were trying to look for a job?
Oh, it was really hard. It was so hard actually, because when I went to university, I kind of went with the impression that I would end up working in the NHS. So my degree was public health nutrition, so that's what I really wanted to do. And when I started university, those jobs, there was just nutritionists, dietitians, health workers, all throughout the NHS. It was quite a big part of the prevention of dietary diseases, like diet-related diseases. However, when I was at university, there was a massive government change and the NHS took loads of cuts. I don't know if you remember, it was about 2010, I think.
No, I didn't know.
And loads of cuts came out. So they, in the structure of like the nutrition, they kept the dietitian and kept the health workers in, but completely removed the middle ground of the nutritionists. So when
God, so you gone through uni and then came out of
and all my placements, we had to do placements at university as a module of our course, which was brilliant. That was always Sure Start in NHS, and it was so I came out and I was just like there was just no jobs in the NHS. So yeah, it took about 18 months of me applying for everything to kind of get my first job in nutrition, and it wasn't even a job that had nutrition in the title, and that was a real kind of an ego thing. Like I think I always wanted the job to have nutrition in it.
And to spend 18 months as well, just going rejection.
Yeah, and like then it was like LinkedIn didn't exist then, so you are literally posting letters out to companies. Like I actually did that, and I remember sitting with my mum and dad.
Seems like so mad,
I was like pleading for people to just take me on for free as well, and just it was so difficult. And to be honest, I do think nutrition is still kind of like that because you find that when people have these jobs and they love these jobs, they don't leave.
Yeah. So, and if you get it quite young and you can stay in the business as well, like, so the actual job availability in your sector is tough.
It's really tough. Yeah, it's really, really tough still.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it was very difficult at the time.
What did it teach you during that period? Like, because, 18 months is a long time. And again, like coming out of university, which I feel like a lot of people now actually coming out of uni are struggling to get a job.
Yeah.
It's difficult out there right now in any sector. What kept you going during that time?
I don't know. I think part of it was that I'd spent 3 years learning about such a specific degree, like nutrition. Do you know, like my brother, for example, he did business studies and he doesn't do anything to do with business studies, but he had the foundations from that university course. With nutrition, you are really solely looking at nutrition, like we do sociology and psychology in there, and like biochemistry, but actually it's very much around nutrition. So it's so niche. So I think I was just so adamant to do something in that field because I'd worked so hard. And like I said, biomedical science, that kind of thing, chemistry at A-level just wasn't in me. Like I wasn't that student.
Yeah.
So to work so hard and get out of university with the Bachelor of Science honours degree was massive for me. And I just didn't want to kind of not throw it away because it was a great time of my life, but didn't want to work so hard and not put that into practice. So
didn't want to compromise on what you'd done.
Although I did go for an interview to be a recruitment manager because that was right before I got the job that I my first job in the industry, because it was getting to that point, like 18, like I say, it's a long time, 18 months. And, you know, I was working in retail, which I loved, but it just didn't have the income to know I wanted to get on the property ladder, and I just couldn't do that in the hours that I had at that job. So I did nearly do that. But then I got a phone call and got this job.
It's understandable, isn't it? You're just like, I need to get into something like properly.
Yeah, you want like a salaried job, which sounds really crazy, and it's completely different now. But at the time, salaried jobs were like the gold stamp, weren't they? Like you wanted that job.
Yeah, it's weird, like thinking about that in terms of like us all, because obviously as a friendship group, pretty much all of us, we all went into uni at the same time, didn't we? So we all graduated at the same time. Everyone started to go down their lanes. So for you to have kind of that break and almost that pressure in itself, I remember it was tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
But you got that job.
Woo!
And not only did you get a job, you got a job in one of the biggest food manufacturing companies ever.
I know.
Like, I can say it, right?
Yeah, Heinz.
So Heinz, everyone knows Heinz. Everyone loves Heinz. And you got that job. You were 23. 23?
22.
22.
Yeah, 22 when I got Heinz.
And all of a sudden you had this massive amount of responsibility on your shoulders. So talk to us about the role and talk to us about kind of what you stepped into Heinz.
Yeah, so this was one of the jobs that didn't have nutrition in the title. Yeah. So I genuinely didn't think I'd get it, which I found with both my jobs actually. So I didn't think I'd get that. That was a labelling legislation manager.
Yeah.
I stepped into that at 22. I didn't have any legislative experience at all. And I used to go into work early and sit with somebody who I'm in contact with now actually, which is we got in contact a few weeks ago with each other. She used to spend her mornings before work, bearing in mind she has children, and she'd sit and go teach me the legislation every morning.
Really?
Yeah, because I just didn't
what
know
a legend.
it. I know, honestly, I owe her so much actually. And I always think about it when I'm going through that legislation. She like kind of mentored me in that.
Yeah.
But that was really hard because it wasn't just a job, it was very corporate.
Right.
So a lot of people...
that's so true, like straight into that kind of sphere.
A lot of people in that company at my age were on the grad scheme and I wasn't. I was like actually within a job. So there was a lot of pressure because I feel like the grad scheme was really difficult for people that I spoke to that was doing it, but they didn't have that expectation because they're like, well, I'm a grad. Whereas I was like, oh no, I'm actually a full employee with a title like legislation labelling manager. So all the labels had to meet legislation. I had to approve them.
Yeah.
And then these labels are going all over. It was just UK that I worked on, but all over the UK.
Yeah. Which is huge.
Yeah.
Such a sense of like responsibility on your shoulders. Yeah. So not only have you got to learn all this legislation, which is a massive learning curve, like coming out of uni. Because even at uni, like yes, it was sciencey, but that's like it's like a different type of learning, isn't it, when you're looking at kind of legalities?
Yeah, like that's the thing. It was very much public health nutrition, my degree. So it was not the food industry side of it. So it was very new. and very
how did it feel, like that level of pressure?
It was tough, but not in a way that I'd go to work nervous or anything like that. It was, I think also at 22, you kind of just get on with it a little bit. Like you don't actually realise how important it is, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it was tough, but I loved it. I used to like go in my work suit and my heels, and I did actually really love that. I was in a factory in Wigan, so I probably wasn't living the corporate dream of like the suit and heels. Like, we did used to wear that in that team. I was literally in the factory where they made baked beans that go all over the world.
I feel like that's such a good point in the sense of like when you're 22, 23, there's no fear, is there? You just kind of like, I'm gonna do it.
No, I didn't in that job. I don't know what it was. I think I was just so happy to be there, and just like that naivety of like, actually, this is a really serious job, which I did take it serious, but you were just like in the clouds. Yeah, you didn't have that pressure. I was never stressed.
Yeah.
Do you know, even learning the legislation, I just thought, I'll get it. It'll be fine. I'll get it. I've just, it took me this long to get here. I can't not understand it or not do it. But yeah.
So what would your advice be, like, in a sense of if someone's either got a job or looking for a job that they think's like high pressure or potentially like too big for them,
Mm-hmm.
like what would you say? And I think that's relevant to any age. I don't think you just have to be young, like, or in your 20s. Like, I think everyone kind of gets job opportunities that potentially like, oh, I'm not going to go for that.
Yeah.
So like, what would your advice then be?
I'd give the reminder that it's a new job for a reason. Like, it's new, so it's going to feel overwhelming because you've never done it before.
Yeah.
And actually, probably the reason why you've got a new job is because you're pushing yourself anyway. So you want to push yourself out of your comfort zone. So it's going to probably feel very uncomfortable at the beginning. But I found in my experience that sometimes being in the deep end is not the hardest thing. It is hard, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It can pay off. It's just how you do that and if you do it right. But I always think that like I said, you'll get there. But my advice would be, it's new for a reason. It's going to be overwhelming. If you step into a job and you can just do it straight off the cuff and it's dead easy, then where's your progression? Like I like to think of jobs. Challenge? Yeah, where's the challenge? Where's your progression there? I think a little bit of uncomfortableness gives you that kind of like hunger to do
an
well.
edge and just like I'm gonna.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
to a degree.
You don't want to just be like this job's like way
you want
above.
to be in the deep end, but you don't want to be drowning with it. You want to be, being able to tread with it and asking the right questions and
asking if there is that growth opportunity within it as well. Like like you say, that the lovely woman who helped you with that legislation, like sometimes actually going into an interview and being like, what's the growth? How can I like what's the learning support within this role?
Yeah,
that's actually a really good thing to say in an interview, because it encourages thoughts of like, you're willing to step into something and push yourself, and people are looking for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I do find that now a lot of companies are helping nurture their own, and they like the learning and development now. Like, there's a whole department in our company on that. I think a lot of people are investing time into that because it pays off. Supporting those people that are coming for the job interviews and coming for the jobs. If you want them to stay, and my husband's his business is the company he works for is very different to mine, but they align on the learning and development, which is really interesting. So I'd like to think that that's something that companies are wanting. Yeah, definitely. Like, so asking those questions in interviews, it just shows willing, I think, which you need. Invaluable.
You need to be willing to kind of push yourself. So that was Heinz. So how long were you there for?
Just short of 12 months.
Yeah. And then you moved into where you are now, which is
Mitchells and Butlers.
Thank you. Yeah. I was like, Mitchell, I didn't want to say it wrong.
No, it's Mitchells and Butlers, but everybody, I literally still have to go to meetings now. And I'm like, we have brands like Harvester, all about it, because nobody knows the name of the company. They know the brands within it. So you're not on your own.
But on that point, like, again, some of the leading like food and drink companies that everyone knows. Yeah. So like All Bar One, Toby Carvery, Browns.
Yeah.
There's the list goes on. So many incredible brands within it. And your role today is
to head up the nutrition for it all.
Yeah, which is just like
in a nutshell.
Insane.
Yeah, so I'm the senior nutritionist for the company.
Yeah, and you've been there for 12 years?
Yeah, 23 I got that job.
20 again, it's so insane. Like, you're so young. It's so funny.
I know.
It's funny because it's like looking back and being like, oh my God, you like took on this like massive responsibility again at such a young age.
I think because you knew me personally as well.
And honestly, like, I have constantly been a cheerleader of yours. I find you so inspirational, and I'm just privileged that I've been able to watch you like go on this journey. But I think almost like doing this with you, like I've looked back on your journey and gone, fucking hell, she's really smashed it in this. Like,
I mean? Thank you.
You have, and then as well along the sidelines in it, you've also kind of built your own personal brand as well, and I think within kind of both sectors of what you do, social media is something that I wanted to touch on with it, because like we said at the start, like at the time when you started in nutrition, it wasn't trendy. It wasn't kind of as front of mind for people as it is now. And during your development within your role and your personal brand, social media has kind of been this presence that's grown in. So how, I guess, have you felt, going through the last 12 years, let's say, as it's become more kind of
in the sphere, if you will, and how's like social media played a part in that?
It's definitely made it a cool thing to do. I think that now nutrition, so just for context, on my degree, it was one of the best ones for nutrition in the company when I did it. There was about 20 of us on the course.
Right.
So that's really small.
Yeah.
I also went to Leeds Beckett, which was Leeds Met at the time. And every course at that university was full, like hundreds of people in some of the courses.
Wow.
And nutrition was like 20.
That's mad.
Yeah, so it just wasn't a thing. Whereas now, because I work quite close with the Association for Nutrition, and they credit all the courses, you know, that the legit courses, so to speak, and they're all full. Like the courses now in nutrition are full at university.
Oh, wow.
So I think social media has definitely played a part in that.
Yeah.
It's definitely like the cool job now, I think.
Do you think that's a good thing?
It's dangerous, I think, because there is, so I called my course the Mickey Mouse course, but it actually wasn't. Like I had my course was 30 hours of studying a week, like lecture time a week. So like some courses were like 12.
I mean, I did a law degree and I'm pretty sure mine was like 15 hours.
Yeah, so the first and second year was 30 hours a week.
Wow.
I couldn't play sport because we had kitchen time on Wednesdays. Excuse me. And then at the third year, when you've got your dissertation to do, like the hours went, I think it went to like 15 hours then. So it wasn't actually a Mickey Mouse course.
Yeah,
it was accredited. It was very sciencey. But again, the psychology side of it was in there. So I shouldn't really call it that. It's just what it was perceived at the time. But actually, there are Mickey Mouse courses out there now with nutrition. So I think because it is seen as this cool career and there's some amazing influencers out there that are doing really good work. But I think because everyone thinks, oh, that looks really good, I'll just get a bit of that. They're taking like the shortcut with the nutrition courses, and then they kind of will have nutrition in the title, but actually they're not registered, and they will have big followings. And that's when I think there's a very grey area and where it can be very dangerous with the nutrition field. But I mean, like I said, there's some brilliant people out there as well.
Yeah, because I mean, that's, to me, the danger of social media is anyone can jump on and say anything. So for someone that's, you know, actually potentially really struggling in terms of the diet, because, you know, there is a lot of people out there, you know, I think we're in an obesity epidemic.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people, I imagine, that are sat there struggling at home on their own that need help and support. And they're jumping on and potentially seeing unregistered people just talking about nutrition, which is dangerous, like you say. It's really dangerous.
It's really dangerous. And they're usually selling like a generic meal plan as well. So they're not kind of, like I said then, like we did psychology and sociology in our degrees, kind of look out for certain things, and we're like kind of trained to speak to people in a certain way. Not trained as in it's like you've got to go off a script, but you know, you kind of have things that you look out for. Whereas like if you're doing an online course and sending out a generic online meal plan, then you don't know actually what they're struggling with, or you're not seeing what they're doing day to day. So there will be people, like say, struggling, but then, you know, the easiest thing to do is go on your phone and look on social media. And then if you've looked at it a couple of times, your algorithm will be full of that stuff. And then it is just kind of, how do you filter out what's right and what's not?
Yeah. Because like you've said before, like you said, everyone eats, but eating the right way is almost unique to every single person. Like,
exactly.
and finding those and being able to support people on an individual level is important. So what would you say to someone that's potentially sat there struggling? How can they like better navigate social media or get kind of nutritional support in the right way?
So the social media side, I would always say, look at the credentials. So if they are a registered dietitian or a registered nutritionist with either the British Dietetic Association or the Association for Nutrition, they actually have registers on their website as well, where you can type in like your area and it will bring up, and they will, you know, you could reach out to somebody if you wanted one-on-one support, or group support. Places some nutritionists do group support, depending on your budget.
Yeah, that's good.
But actually, it is really
Mm.
useful. But actually, if you look on their social media, if they have worked their ass off to be a registered dietitian or nutritionist, they will shout about it in the bio.
Yeah.
Because it is not easy. Do you know, you've got to, every year you've got to complete a certain amount of hours of CPD to be registered still.
Right, wow.
You've got to submit portfolios with evidence after evidence after evidence to to prove why you should be on that register, just look in the bio for that. There will be some people that aren't necessarily registered that will still give good advice, but just be very wary if it sounds too good to be true, potentially is. If it's very specific advice that they're giving to the whole of their followers, like that's a red flag for me. If they're trying to sell you something, again, red flag. If they seem legit and you do find their content really useful and it actually really relates to you, then that's great. But then when they start doing advertised stuff, just be wary. I'm not saying that it won't be right, because there's some great partnerships that go on, but just be wary with that and just click onto the website of the company they're advertising and look at what's
make sure you go to that next level.
Rather than just like clicking it and buying it.
Which is so easy to do again on social media today.
It is. And I'd just say, look out for registered nutritionists, dietitians. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. If it's very generic, again, just don't give people your money if it's generic, because you might as well just invest a little bit more and see somebody one-on-one from the registers.
Or look at those group options. So if budget is a problem, which again for a lot of people it is, like there are options where you can go and meet and facilitate in groups and like learn from that education of how best to kind of...
there is some really good stuff with the NHS for stuff like that as well. So there's weight management courses you can go, not courses, but like programs you can go on. There's some really good stuff for young families. So there's got like Sure Start, but then there's like Home Start, which is really good, and they will support with feeding your baby, but then they'll support you a bit on weaning and stuff. So these are like all free groups that if you actually look for, they will be in your council. Do you know?
Nice.
So you've just got to know they're there. So just do a bit of digging.
Or maybe we'll put some links in the notes of this podcast, because that would be really helpful for people. So an area for you that you've really, or again, that's probably impressed me, is you've always invested in yourself. You've always continued your learning. Like that's been a huge kind of part of, I think, of what's built you and got you to where you are today, is you continuously invest in your knowledge in this area. And you went back to uni, didn't you? So you went back to do, because you're a crazy lady, whilst you got a full-time job, you went back to uni to get your master's in sports and nutrition.
But it was a postgrad, so it wasn't a full, I didn't have to do no, it's all right. I just didn't have to do the dissertation, which was where I kind of drew the line. And, and my husband was like, do you really, because he'd just done a master's, so he'd finished it, and then I was starting this. And so I could have done the dissertation side, I just didn't have the time, because I was doing this on a week. I was doing that on a week. So it's postgrad in sports nutrition.
What is it though that kind of drove you to go back to uni to do that?
Kind of wanting to have another string to my bow, so that was like a personal thing. I thought sports nutrition was so interesting because it is very, very different to food nutrition. Because food is fuel in a sports environment, and I was having more people come to me with questions about that, like more about my one-to-one side of things. People, and I thought, do you know what, I'm doing them a discredit here. I don't know as much as I should know. I knew enough for the people that was coming to me. But I thought, you know what, there's a gap here. People are asking me the questions. So I thought, oh, why not? Let's go back. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Really?
I've done a couple of really difficult things in the last few years. Sports nutrition is not for the faint-hearted.
Why do you say that?
Because it's down to the cell.
Really?
It's honestly, it's down to like your blood. It's so specific, so scientific. Anybody that does that for a job, wow, like never underestimate sports nutritionist or any sports club, because it's really, really difficult. And my first degree wasn't easy.
No.
Like no degree is easy, but that was just another level. And maybe it's because I was working full time as well, and I didn't have the time to be like doing it. But I'm really, really glad I did that, because now when I work with people on sports nutrition, I feel like I am doing them like a credit, and like I am really helping them, because I've gone and kind of suffered my way through that.
Definitely suffered.
So that was just something that interests me, and it's paid off now. I mean, my husband takes advantage of that fully.
Very much so. We'll come on to that in a minute. But you just said there, like food is fuel. And that's something that really like chimes with me. So as you know, I'm currently like training for a half marathon.
Yeah.
And it's I find it really difficult to look at food that way because I've struggled with my weight.
Yeah, diet culture.
And the diet culture, you know, like, and actually to fuel yourself enough to be able to run or to do any kind of type of sports or what do you call
performance.
it?
Any performance. Yeah.
It's a lot, and it's a mind shift. And obviously, again, like more people, probably like me, doing this type of running or, you know, looking to push themselves into different areas of further kind of sports and endurance, again, without being trained.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm doing this like pretty much, I mean, obviously you've shared tips and tricks, but I'm kind of eating probably not in the right way. And it's a real shift in my like mindset. Like I've really struggled with it. Because again, it's hard to maybe grasp the right knowledge and the right information.
I think, have you seen on social media, it goes around of like, now, why is everyone doing marathons?
Yeah.
And it's like our age group. It's like people like 30,
yeah,
it's like mid-30s.
Like, we need to do
like,
it.
why is everyone doing marathons? But actually, you're so right. You're not on your own in that space, because like a lot of people are taking up running, and it's amazing. Like, it's so good for your heart health, and it's really good for your mental health. But we've actually, if you are in your 30s, and anyone older than actually you're 30, come from a really toxic diet culture where like the stick thin kind of thing was, you wouldn't eat carbs, like all of that kind of stuff. So we've kind of got that embedded in our brain, and it is really, so you're not on your own, it's really difficult to switch off. So then when you work with somebody like me, you say, right, you need to really feel for this race, you need to really feel for that run. If it's over an hour, you need to do this, this and this. They're going, what? And then they would actually normally, before they seek advice, would run fasted. And on it, like my husband did it, he used to run fasted, and then I'm like, let's just try this. And then now his whole world has changed.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's mental.
It is, but it's nobody's fault. It's just what we used to see. And like I say, that's food is fuel when it comes to sports nutrition. Personally, in day to day, I wouldn't necessarily go with that slogan. I don't I think food is so much more than that. But when it comes to sports nutrition, a lot of athletes just see that as fuel and have like turn off emotion to it. Not every sports nutritionist, and that's why not every athlete, and that's why you have sports nutritionists that will work with them to see if there's any emotion behind it or like anything that's any barriers. But the majority of athletes are, it's fuel. What do I need to do? I will do it. Just lay it out for me. I'll do it. Whereas like day to day, it's you've got so many other factors going on. So sports nutrition, definitely food is fuel. Every day, gosh, we just know that's just a whole other thing.
Whole other realm. So for someone that is actually kind of looking to run more than an hour, you just said, or is kind of training for some kind of endurance, like, have you got any kind of tips or recommendations that you would share?
So there's a kind of a general rule, and obviously everything I say today is general. There's a kind of a general rule that if you're running for about 45 minutes to an hour, then there's no intervention that's needed within the run.
Right.
So intervention means like there's no nutrition intervention. So there's no, you just don't need to do anything. You don't even have to go out with water if you don't want, because for that your body will be okay if you fuel correctly before that run.
Right.
So the general rule of thumb is that 3 hours before you're going to run. Again, I'm just going to call him Ryan because that's the same husband. But we've been married 3 years, and it really feels really strange calling him my husband. So Ryan, I will literally, he'll start some races at like 7 a.m. and he's up at 3 a.m. eating like a high carb meal.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, if you just go for a Sunday run for maybe just 2 or 3 hours, ideally 3, you want to be having something that's really high in carbohydrates, so like oats, milk, peanut butter. I know you're saying that you like peanut butter and stuff.
Yeah, but I have it after.
Yeah,
I have it like it's my treat.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not a treat. So you refuel, so you need to pre-fuel and refuel.
Yeah.
So your pre-fuel is
wrong.
I mean, you're not wrong, but there is better ways of doing it, I suppose. So you would have something really high carb. Any choice of milk. If you drink dairy, then go for dairy because it's got a bit more protein in. And then just make that something that you really enjoy. So your foundation's there with oats and milk and anything else like berries, peanut butter, and have that 3 hours before. And then hopefully by that time, hydrate. So like make sure you're sipping water. Don't like gulp it. Just sip it along that 3 hours. I mean, this is maybe more of a race day kind of advice actually, but it can like listeners will be able to kind of put that into like their normal stuff. So I'll say like a race day. And then half an hour before you actually go for your run, you want to be topping up that carbohydrate store. So basically the 3 hours before, without getting too scientific, you're really building your glycogen stores up.
Yeah.
So your glycogen is like the next storage level that you will need, like your backup source of energy. If you have something half an hour before, like your banana will just release like loads of glucose, which is brilliant. And it won't store away. It's just there ready to use. So if you have that banana half an hour before you start running, for that 45 minutes to an hour, that banana is going to keep you going. The glucose in that, your body's going to use that as energy.
Nice.
If you then decide to run longer, which if you're doing a half marathon, unless you're a superstar, I'm guessing it's going to be longer than an hour.
Yeah, I'm not.
So it is over an hour. So then that glucose stores will start to wear off, and then it'll go into your glycogen stores. So that's why that pre-meal, that 3 hour meal is really important. So then it'll start to use that.
Nice.
I won't go into the intervention between when you are running, but ideally you want to be looking at having some quick releasing carbohydrates during your run then.
Oh, really?
So like Ryan has gels, but I try and encourage him to, like, he does silly ultra things, so I try and encourage like a big variety on that.
Yeah.
But it could be sweets. If you don't really like sweets, it could be berries, just something that's got like a really quick release of, I call it glucose, but sugar, basically.
Yeah. Just
well, it is the same thing, but so then you're not going too far into your glycogen stores. That's always hopefully going to be there, especially for a half marathon. You could keep kind of topping up those glucose stores. So that would be my advice, is long-winded, but would be to really think about what you're having pre-run, to make sure that and also your performance will be so much better because your body's got that fuel. Like your body is literally running on the best, its preferred energy store. Like your brain prefers that. Like there's studies that between carbohydrates and fat, but the mainstream guidance is carbohydrates. It's amazing. Especially for endurance. So really focus on that. So if you're going for like the 9 a.m. run, maybe Ryan goes back to bed. So like he'll eat it and then go back to bed.
Fair.
So and also I would also encourage people to try that out while they're doing the training runs because of the gut. So how their gut will tolerate that. So there'll be like a sweet spot. So, I mean, I talk about the gut all the time, so I'm quite used to talking about like toilet habits. But you will, if you have something 3 hours before, you're training and you're practicing that, on race day, you will know when you need to go to the toilet before you run.
Yeah. I think I'm let you into a secret.
Oh, go on. A secret that can
Honesty here. So I went for a run yesterday and it was like my 14K. It was the longest run I've ever done. And I did eat 3 hours before. So I had chicken, sweet potato and veg. And then I did eat, it was an apple. I had an apple half an hour before. And then halfway through my run, I had to go to the toilet. Yeah. But it was like it's running a pub. And
but you have it. It's a training run. That's what they're for. Yeah. That is exactly what your training run's for.
Yeah,
but that's a high fiber as well. Yeah, so the high fiber has probably helped.
That's my secret.
No, but it's no. You're not on your own. I mean, have you seen how my reaction? Just like, that's really.
Yeah, you're like, great. It's good that you're going. I'm like,
because I talk about this with clients all of the time. So that's really normal, and that's why it's good to just test it.
Yeah.
Like test out what food you have. So I recommend, like, if it's a morning run, like I recommend oats and things. But actually, you might have a preferred food. So definitely just keep practicing. So that's good. You like know that maybe that food is not the best thing to have, or that timing's not right.
Yeah.
So that's why you should not only put so much effort into your training and your runs, but also your nutrition.
Like
so
what
don't
food
forget
you're
about
as well.
that.
So you test out what foods are like going to work.
Don't just
best
randomly buy gels the night before and start them, and then take a gel while you're running your race, your actual race day, because your gut might be like, what is this? You might just be really uncomfortable, and then you just completely irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant then. So definitely train with your nutrition as much as your actual training.
That's amazing advice.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, and then that's the pre-fuel, and then refuel. It depends what you've got going on after. Ryan has pizza and beer. Like, do you know? I mean,
trees.
Scientifically, you want to be having carbohydrates and protein together because that will increase muscle protein synthesis, which basically means that it's going to prevent aches and pains more so. So that's more for like people that are then going to run one race one week and one the next week. Whereas like in general, if you're running like a marathon for fun, if that is fun to people, pizza's fine. Have whatever you want after, but hydrate after and just keep refueling afterwards as well, because you would have used quite a bit of energy going for your race.
Nice. Great advice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sorry, they're not bullet points, but
No,
you
but
can't.
it's
really hard.
It's really hard. And like you say, just to come back to the point, everyone is an individual.
Yeah.
And your diet plan needs to be relevant to you.
Exactly.
Hence,
Training,
testing it out. And you've mentioned obviously Ryan.
Yeah.
Who's insane. So he's just completed an ultra marathon. For context, so how far was that?
It was 110 kilometres in the Lake Districts. So
Yeah.
it was 4 mountains, 7 fells, and I keep laughing, and a storm because there was a storm. Yeah, but it was 110.
How
kilometres.
terrifying was it when there was a storm going on? You must have been.
I mean, I didn't know.
Didn't you?
No, so it's really hard in the Lake
Thank
Districts.
God,
yeah,
probably.
because your signal's not great, and it has its own climate up there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we was like, looking outside, like, oh, it's raining. Oh, it stopped raining now. It's not too bad. And then he said literally there was just a cloud above this mountain because it does. They just gather, don't they, to points. And he was just caught in a storm on top of the mountain. Thankfully, I was blissfully unaware because I was already a bit worried about him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, an unbelievable feat of endurance and fitness and health.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn kind of going through that process with him? Because that's such a good way for you to take everything that you've learned in terms of sports nutrition, and obviously you've worked with different people so far, but that's kind of another level, really.
Yeah, it's the most I suppose I've done. I've worked with somebody who did who just constantly ran for 24 hours. So I've run with a lot of endurance athletes, but this one, it was difficult from a nutrition perspective, but also really good because the event was so well organised. They had feeding stations.
Oh, nice.
So it taught me, he's done this event before, but a lower kilometre, 55 kilometres last time. So I was quite familiar with the event, but actually professionally, it makes you look at everything from different angles. So they had really great feeding stations. So it was like making sure that was incorporated into what I was giving him as his nutrition plan.
Right.
So then,
did you know what then was going to be served at those? Oh my God,
that's the event is really, really well.
I guess you need to be though, don't you? Because it's dangerous. Like it could be really dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that just kind of separates the generic plans to like really putting your heart and soul into your clients. I mean, I know it is my husband, so it's different, but I would never do it. If anything, he kind of gets the rubbish side of me compared to my clients. Like my clients get probably a lot more.
Subpar for you, right?
But I mean, you do that. You just plan every single thing for them, and then I made it really easy. And any sports nutrition I know I live with them, but any sports nutrition should be doing this. They should be making it as easy as possible for the clients. So I made sure that he had like hourly bags of what food he needed. Right, so he knew like if he got a bag out, he just couldn't reach it. He got a bag out of his bag, like a food bag. That whatever was in that would keep him going for the hour.
Right.
So it doesn't matter which bag he got. It was just variety. So there was a lot of variety because he said previously, he has gels, but he wants different stuff because it's just such a long period to do it over.
It's unbelievable.
So I had to work out what they were doing in the feeding stations, and then adding variety within what he was doing every hour. And it's just putting the love in. If you're doing the right job, you'll love doing that. I love it. Yeah. Like I love getting his little sandwich bags ready with like his hourly carbs in it and protein and salt, and I actually really enjoy that anyway. But it taught me working with him that you've just got to be so organised with sports nutrition and for that. And when he first started working with me on this, he comes from the same diet culture we did. He lived in Australia where everything was really clean. Like you would eat
so
he would just be like, no, I'm not doing this. And like, what, I'm eating all of these sweets here. I don't like sweets in my teeth. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. We'll swap it out. But you do need the sugar. You're like, and you need the sugar. And so he at the beginning didn't take what I was telling him very seriously. And then when he started, it's like one day it just clicked. And he ran a marathon. And he said, that was so much easier than I ever thought it would be. And he said, because I just felt really good. And
it just shows the power, doesn't it, of eating the right things when you're doing that type of training. Exactly. Or any training like that.
And psychology as well. So like the psychological side of it is, well, my body, might be aching. And but actually, I know I've fueled for this. I know that actually my body will keep going because it's got what it needs. So I think I always have that in mind when I work with him. But he definitely gets his freebies out of me.
Definitely. But it worked and he did it. How long did it take him to do that?
So it took them 23 hours, which they're not great. They're not impressed with the time.
Oh, really?
He wishes he would have done it faster, of course. But I thought it was amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah, really good. I know, yeah.
I know.
Clap, clap for
Clap,
them.
clap, clap. They deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah, definitely.
Clap, clap, clap. So, obviously, that kind of world has been a big injection in your career and what you've done as well. And then, very excitingly, you've recently become a mummy to beautiful Sienna James. He's just the most adorable little button there is. And that's kind of starting to take you down a different route as well. Not like you're still in obviously your job and you're still interested in sports nutrition, but that's also kind of opening another avenue up as a result of like personal experience for yourself. And you do and have spoke quite openly and honestly about like some of the difficulties that you had during your pregnancy, and then more so your breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Do you want to just talk to that?
Yeah,
a bit?
so I was very adamant that I wanted to breastfeed, and it's a very personal choice. But that's what I wanted. I had loads of plans, and anyone who's planning to have a child or has had one will know that all them plans go out the window. So I ended up having to have an emergency section because we was both not very well. So it was really difficult, and I truly do think, and there is evidence there that shows it can be a little bit more difficult for somebody with after a C-section to breastfeed, but it can be just as difficult for somebody who has had a vaginal birth. But I really struggled, and it was heartbreaking because I wanted a home birth and I had that taken away from me. So I think I was just adamant I was going to breastfeed. I had no milk for weeks, no milk. So she had to go on formula, which was great. Like, she loved it. She loved formula, which, you know, it's great. It's there for a reason. But I'd go out and I'd breastfeed her, and it didn't fill her. So then we'd have to give her formula. And it was just, I was just like, and then I'd be pumping as well to try and get my milk in. So they call it like triple feeding, and it took a real toll actually on me. And it's not really what you need when you've just given birth.
Not when, because obviously you've just given birth. It's a first time mum, so you're kind of understanding all those emotions anyway, lack of sleep, everything that's going on, and then you're also going through this struggle.
It was really difficult. It was a lot more difficult than what I thought. And I think because I've worked in children's nutrition in my current job, so I've done that for like 13 years, and I kind of own that. So I've done courses at King's College on weaning and pregnancy nutrition. I've done every course, the best courses you can do in it, but actually practically it's so different.
Was that a bit of a shock to you?
Yeah, because I just thought I'd be fine, and I did all of the right things during my pregnancy, and what I thought were the right things. So I just thought I'd just get the milk. And my mum breastfed, so I thought, you know, you just never know. But I thought it was like, it would help. Like, she was so good at it. And I got there in the end. It took like 6 to 8 weeks. Looking back, was probably, there was times when Ryan said, you shouldn't be doing this. It's too much now. And I was just adamant that I wanted to do it. So then I breastfed until she was 13 months.
I know, you did amazing.
I know. And she just got to the point where she was like, nah, I'm fine now.
I've had enough.
So she weaned herself off me, which is really nice as well, actually.
I love that.
I know.
She is her own little
I just worked so hard for you to be here, but never mind. She shouldn't want it anymore. Although now she actually lifts my top and like laughs at my boobs. She like thinks it's hilarious. That's what having a child is. You just, I'm a joke. I'm running joke. But yeah, so it was really difficult. But I got there in the end. And there's a few of my friends recently that have given birth and have had a really difficult. It's actually the more people you speak to, the more you realise how difficult it is to breastfeed.
And do you feel? I mean, I'm not a mum, but do you feel like the information about it is limited?
Yeah. I think if you follow the right people on social media, there's some great people out there. But yeah, I mean, we ended up paying private for a lot of stuff. But then actually, Homestart, who I mentioned before, who will definitely tag in these notes, because they were just amazing. And they just free. It's called Baby Bistro.
Oh,
I know.
I know.
And it was like 3 sessions. You go and you speak to a breastfeeding expert. Because like I said, I did all these courses, but I didn't see it. They see it every day. And then you would just sit and talk to mums, and they give you a cup of tea and a piece of toast, and it was just so nice. So there is support, like I said before, if you look for it. Because we paid a lot of money privately, and I don't know how much we got from that reassurance we got, but actually, like Ryan always says, we should have just carried on what we was like. You knew
your body, you knew what was going on in your head.
But you're just so vulnerable at that time.
Of course.
It's just very expensive to go down that route. But Homestart, I think, helps me more than anything. They were brilliant.
So I was going to say, what would your advice be? But is that your advice?
It probably would be to go to somebody who's try not to pay straight away.
Yeah.
Follow the right people on social media, because they will probably link to workshops and things. Like a lot of people would do group workshops, which are very accessible.
Yeah.
But like I say, if there's anything, if the home start's not in your area, then there will be something around your area that's like that. There's not many of them left. So if you do, like we had to go and sign a register every week so that they could show the funding, how many people are attending, so they will keep getting funding. So support them, because they will really support you as well. And they put like toys out for the babies and things like that. But it would be to look for something like that, or seek advice from a professional if you want to. There's just always that financial side of that, and
I guess listen to yourself as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Just take a step back. Think if it's that important to you, because there's been a lot of people that have just thought, no, this is really difficult, and it is. It's really hard on the mom. It's hard on the dad, because
they can't do anything necessarily.
That's the thing, and it's you've got to really maybe have that discussion while you're pregnant. Actually, I would say, because when everything's all over the place, when the baby's there. So maybe have that discussion. Like if you can't breastfeed,
what are your options?
Yeah, and I mean, I suppose can't breastfeed. There will be people that actually can, but there just will be people that find it extremely difficult. So maybe just kind of we'll change the terminology there, so it's a little bit more positive.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought I couldn't at one point, but I got there and I did it for so long. So it's just patience. If you really want to do, it's really important to you. Just give it time and speak to the right people. Kind of getting a bit of a routine with the feeding, like maybe if your baby's on formula, like Ryan used to give her the bottle and I'd sit and pump so that my body knew when that she would need milk, because she was having it then.
God, that's so clever.
Just keep exposing them to the boob, so that they kind of know that it's there. And then somebody told me, actually, it's really interesting, that as soon as their lips touch your like nipple, they signal of what they want. So if your baby's poorly, they will signal that they need something different from your milk, like a different kind of protein or something to come through. So they communicate with you through that. Honestly, if you actually read into breastfeeding, this is why I was so adamant I wanted to do it, because it is so magical and so powerful. There's like things like that. So even if you haven't got a lot of milk, your baby, just expose them to the boob, your baby will signal that they need something from your milk.
That's incredible. Our bodies are so incredible.
And people call it the baby putting their order in, which I just love. I just like them putting their, I mean, Sienna is such a foodie now, so she's definitely putting her order in.
I wonder where she has that from.
I know,
I think one thing that I genuinely love about what you're doing in this space is you're like trying to make food for families and food education for families more accessible, and that feels like it's such an important kind of part of what you're doing. And I know you've done a few talks in different groups, and obviously talking now openly as well. Like, where does that kind of, I guess, where's that taking you? What advice are you wanting to kind of share and get across to families?
I think to keep it simple. I think there's so many resources out there, and a lot of conflicting ones. And I think actually just don't listen to what people say that they did 30 years ago. So that would be one piece of advice that I'd like to go.
Such a good piece of
advice.
Because
everything's changed, even from like a mayonnaise then to a mayonnaise now. It's that's changed. The product's changed. So when somebody's saying, well, we did this and that's okay, just use your own instinct and try and keep it as simple as possible. So whether that's like from the breastfeeding side of things to what you actually start weaning your child on, if you can do something that you can all sit and do as a family, then perfect, because it just keeps, it can be stressful. But I would say, because I've worked so much in children's nutrition from a policy perspective, I think I'm trying to get the message from policy to plate, in the fact that the policies, it's just changed. Actually, there's been a lot of policy change with new government. It can be really overwhelming, and you can always feel like you're doing the wrong thing. So I want to kind of speak to families in a really non-judgmental way, and ask them questions. So I did a talk for the Mum Club, and before I even started, I spoke to the audience about where they were at, how that's been going, because I can't just stand there and go, like, this is what I've learned on this course at King's College. This is what my daughter does.
Yeah.
You should all do this as well, and it'll work.
Yeah.
You really need to find out where people are at and what the circumstances are.
Because there's obviously financial
allergens,
yeah,
like that side of things. There's food exposure. There's working hours. Do you know this? Like, where do they get the majority of the food from? Is it nursery? Is it you? There's so many different things. So I just want to kind of somehow come up with a resource where we can have, there's open dialects, but actually the advice is really simple. Because like I said, we saw a lot of people privately, and actually you stick to your guns, you just get the advice and you put it in, then translate it to what you would do in your life. Like I was saying that about the sports nutrition, you know, I just went off on a tangent about what they should be doing, and then hopefully the listeners will go, oh, actually I'll take that little bit of advice because I can definitely incorporate that there. It's the same with family nutrition and children's nutrition.
And I think if you're able to kind of take those little pieces of advice from yourself, and I'm going to ask you to share a couple in a minute, but like take the small piece of advice, and that will actually have an impact from like day one. Do you have like, what's your 2 pieces of advice for like families right now? Like let's say young families.
Keep it colourful, your plate. So
Aww.
Keep it really colourful. Get as much variety as you can out there.
What do you mean by variety?
It could be different vegetables. So maybe one week you do a food shop and you pick up like peaches, and then you think, right, well, we had peaches last week. What could they maybe like this week? And then even if it's just like 1 or 2 different things that you try each week, to kind of keep that variety in front of your child and your family. So Sienna loves figs at the moment, which I know is a very niche thing for us to love.
I don't think I've ever even eaten a fig.
But back in the day, it wasn't a thing. Like, it was very much like what's available, and I love that in a way, because like I would always say seasonal stuff, because you can get things quite cheap if it's seasonal, so you're not paying a premium. But yeah, just go to the supermarket, try something new. If they don't like it, just keep trying. Like that would be my second piece of advice, actually. So first piece would be keep your plates colourful, really make them fun. You can go on Pinterest and see how you can make like really standard food like interesting on a plate. You know, you can like do it to little like funny faces with stuff.
I always love your things where you've got different plates and then you have different like sections in your plates.
So that's the thing. So like Sienna's got a sweet tooth. Even though I've done everything veg-led, she just loves berries. So sometimes she and this is where that the conflict inside comes through. So at nursery they're great, but they will give them the savoury food and then the fruit is afterwards.
Right.
So she like knows that something's come in.
Yeah.
There's loads of research now, and they're changing the policies so that the sweet and savoury sometimes can come out together.
Oh, that's
so
clever.
at home, if she's like refusing something that I've put, I'll just be like, right, okay, I'll go and chop a strawberry up, and I put it in them segments, so she'll have like something savoury, vegetables and a little bit of fruit, and she will finish the whole thing then.
Wow.
Because she's just got
got it all at the same time.
She just like bites the choice and just picks and chooses.
Love that.
And it's very, like I say, just the colour. I just like we can look at the Eat Well plate, and that's like your carbohydrates, your protein, your fruit and vegetables. So try and stick to that if you can. Don't worry if you can't. But yeah, variety is key. So the supermarket trick I really like. Just try something new. See what's on like the Super Sixes at the supermarket. So what's discounted, like with a red sticker. Just get it. Like, just see what's seasonal, see what's on offer, and just try something new. And then my second piece of advice would be to just familiarity. So there's a really great child's nutritionist who I'm quite good friends with, and she has looked into so much research about familiarity. It's a bit of a mouthful with my accent. For children and how they love it. So just keep exposing them to different foods. If they refuse something, it's fine. They can refuse it. They don't want it. We all have those days. But don't think that that's the reason to not
then bring it back again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean,
so that could have been like a bad day, but like let's bring it back and try it again, so that they're almost not kind of creating those like stereotypes of I don't like that food.
Yeah, exactly. You just might not like it today, kind of thing. So it would be to just not be disheartened. Don't waste it. You know, just if it's in a state where you can just fridge it or freeze it, just do that and bring it back out. So it's very different, and I don't like to use loads of examples of Sienna, but at the moment she just doesn't like tomatoes and she doesn't like mincemeat. So it's like spag ball, which she used to love, is just out of the window.
Isn't it funny how they can like change like so
really
frequently?
Not into it at all. But I keep offering it her. I always have something in my back pocket because I know that she's probably going to say no, but I just keep offering it her, and then she's like, it's just really, every parent's great. And I've done everything like how I do not. I would tell families to like their best advice, and she still doesn't want to do it. It's fine. Do you know, I just think, don't worry about that. That would be definitely, just keep offering it them when you feel like you've got the patience to keep offering it them the foods. And yeah, don't be too disheartened if they go through a fussy eating stage.
Even if it's spag bol, because that's heartbreaking.
I know, such a good one.
I know, especially lost spag bol. It's great.
Yeah, at nursery they offer a garlic bread with it, and she demolishes that, of course.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the garlic bread. I mean, I'm the same.
Yeah, that's
you've not got garlic bread with your spag bol.
Yeah,
what is the
maybe
point?
that's it.
So you're doing so much, Sarah. Honestly, you've got so much going on. So, you know, your full-time role where, and I missed this before, but like you were literally feeding like millions of mouths every year currently, which is, again, such a massive like responsibility on your shoulders. So you're doing that. You've got your sports nutrition going on as well. You've got private clients, and you're starting to really like support mums in their space as well. What is it that's like lighting all your fire at the minute? What's the exciting bit that's going on?
I don't know. I think it actually comes down to, and bringing it back to like what we said at the beginning, of just like having all of this knowledge and this passion that you don't want to just lose it. You're always trying to push yourself, and I'm always looking for ways that I can develop and just get really good messaging out there. So I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, but I am very passionate about this. Like I do live and breathe it. Like it's something that you just can't escape. Like I said, everybody eats food. So
and it comes out in you, that knowledge, like, and passion, because you've got so much of it. Like you've just sat here like for all this time, and it's like fascinating to hear you talk, and it just pours out of you.
Oh, but yeah, I think it is passion. I think it's just like going back to that thing where you found something you really enjoyed. And then like, that was when I was 18, I'm 35 now, and I'm still like, love it. So I think, I don't know, it's hard sometimes, it is hard, and it's not glamorous sometimes, but actually like the messaging that you want, and you just want people to just be in a really great food environment. I think that's just, that kind of gives me the fire. And also when you see like, even the sports nutrition side, which is like the nice fancy bit, even just like when Ryan comes back and says that helps so much. Especially when people are doing things for charity, and you can just help. Like I've done a lot of stuff where I've just helped people. Shouldn't really say this, but like I've helped them for free because they've been doing it for charity. And just I think, well, they've done something they really enjoyed. I've made their journey of that a little bit easier by helping them. And it's the same, that comes back to family, it comes back to my work, like my employed work at Mitchells and Butlers, where, like we say, we serve millions of kids' meals. I kind of approve everything for all of our kids' meals. We serve millions. And I always think just exposing a child to peas, who might not have ever seen a pea before. Like it takes me back to the placement stuff. And sorry, I'm rambling, so I will be short with this. But when I was doing placements for the NHS, we went to somewhere and we was teaching children to cook. And one of the children didn't know what a cucumber was. They was just like, what's this? What do I do with this? And I was like, oh, that's a cucumber. And they was like, oh, right. I was like, do you like cucumber? And they was like, I've never had one. And this was like a 9-year-old child. And I would maybe, like it's a privilege thing, but I would say like a cucumber is a pretty staple food. It's like fig with sienna with fig, that's just ridiculous. But like I think like a cucumber, like I do think that's quite a staple thing. So that experience back when I was like 19, and that kind of shock factor really makes me think now, like, right, okay, there's millions of children coming into our restaurants every year. If I can expose them to something new in their food environment, like how amazing is that? If they only eat vegetable that day from something that I've done and approved, like how amazing is that? So I always think of it with that side.
And the fact that you're impacting that many people's meals and plates and children's plates, it's
in the day-to-day you don't realise, but then sometimes you like get some figures through and you're like,
you need to have that moment and just be like,
I
am.
Making a public health impact in the industry is nice.
A huge impact. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Last bit, quick fire question.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
I don't know how quick I'm going to be though.
I like a quick, it's fine. You can be medium speed.
Okay.
What's one myth about nutrition that you wish people would drop tomorrow?
Quick fixes. So anything quick fix. Intolerance testing, like these kind of things, like anything too good to be true.
I'm smiling because you know what I've done intolerance tests. I've done like two. Although I do think one of them helped me because
good, but like anything that's too good to be true.
Yeah.
So anything like quick fix, and the nutrition, I suppose it's not necessarily a myth, but it's just something that really grates on me, is the generic meal plans.
Yeah.
Oh, really grates on me. So if you've just got somebody who is just giving out the same thing that is taking them 5 minutes to just forward, change your name on and send out. I've been the receiver of that for not nutrition, but something to do with Sienna I've had, and they've kept the child's name. They've not changed the child's name on some of it.
You're joking.
It grates on me so much because I see it so much in nutrition as well. So anything like that, it really frustrates me. Gone. Yeah.
What's one affordable family meal you always recommend?
So I actually do always recommend this. I know I always talk about this and Ryan rolls his eyes. We had it this week. I always say a can of chickpeas, can of chopped tomatoes, sort you out forever. It will honestly just chickpea stew, just throw it in the slow cooker with herbs and any vegetables that you've got lying around that are about to go off, you just shove them in. Chickpea curry, it's just
chickpea curry.
It can just be the cheapest meal, but you've got plant-based protein in there, you've got some really good like nutrients in that. You've got tomatoes.
I was not expecting you to say that.
Chickpea stew or chickpea curry.
Nice.
Right, we literally had it this week because we had not been food shopping. So I was like, chickpea curry for tea, and he was like, right, okay. Because it's just
Thrilled.
the
He's like, where's the spec ball Sienna? Come on. One small change that makes the biggest long-term difference. Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. This is
my own question. I forgot about it.
No, but like this is such a good one because this is kind of my messaging in every aspect of nutrition. Think positive. What can you add? So you've got your favourite thing and you don't want to give it up. What can you add to that to just add more nutrients to it? Just always think about positive nutrition. What can you add to something rather than what can you take away?
Oh, I like that.
Because if you're going to think about taking stuff away, food is meant to be enjoyed. And that's why we're talking about food's not always feel like it is meant to be enjoyed, and it's very emotive. So what can you just still enjoy something, but what, you know, just add a bit more fibre to it. You know, something that you enjoy, just add something else that's positive, that's going to bulk your plate out, and you've still got your favourite stuff. So yeah, always positive nutrition. What can you add to add nutrients rather than take away to take away nutrients?
Great answer.
It's a very strong messaging of mine when I work with clients.
Yeah, because I think it is really important in that sense of, again, I always take away. I don't add.
Yeah. Everyone, you're not on your own.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone does.
What one piece of advice would you give to your 22-year-old self?
I mean, 22, like I said, I was just walking with my head in the clouds. 23, when I got my job that I'm in now. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I think I felt like I had to prove something being in that job so young that I'd sit in a meeting and just not ask a question. And then I'd go away and be like, what is that? And then I'd be too scared then because I missed the moment to ask the question. And I felt like I had to prove myself. But actually, where I do a bit of mentoring now, and I see people come through, and actually the ones that are just so good are the ones that ask questions. And there's never a stupid question. I know that's so cliche, but there isn't.
It's so
I
true.
used to just because I was never the kid that put the hand up in class because I thought I'd get it wrong. Like I was never that person, so it carried through to my job. Whereas now I'll just sit and ask any question. And I just say, sorry if this is stupid, or you've already said this, but can you just explain this? Because it just makes your life so much easier. So never feel you've got a point to prove in the sense that you can't show vulnerability and ask questions. I would definitely love to go back and do that myself.
Yeah, I've just started a new job, and obviously any new job is like new. And I probably have asked more questions in the last 2 weeks, but I feel more confident in doing that now than I would have done when I was that age.
And being on the receiving end, because in your previous job, that you managed so many people, being in your previous job, how refreshing is it when people ask questions? So being on the receiving end of it, now I'm like, brilliant, ask away. I love it. So I definitely would say that.
Great. If you could have a coffee and a real conversation with anyone, living or gone, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. I would choose to keep it professional. I would go back and speak to my old lecturers.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, I would like to keep it like in the sense of career. I'd go back and speak to my old lecturers, which is probably a boring answer. So I'm going to say that, professional. Socially, it's got to be the Spice Girls.
I just got to say the
I've been trying to get Sienna to listen to the Spice Girls. And I'm trying to get her into them, and I'd just go and sit.
Yeah,
and
just sit and have a chat
I'd
with
like,
them.
what was this like?
Yeah.
What was this like? So yeah, professionally my own lecturers, which is so boring to some, but I would love to ask them what they thought of me and like the learning and what I could have done better. Do you know, like I would love that side of that insight and like how they perceive teaching nutrition. But yeah, socially, definitely the Spice Girls.
Fair. Who was your favourite Spice Girl?
Because I was blonde, it was Baby.
Yeah.
But then when I look back now, I blonde and Baby. It's Baby and Sporty.
Yeah,
but when I look back now, I think, I just loved them all.
Yeah.
I'm really in the Victoria Beckham hype at the moment.
I need to watch
seen
the.
it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Is it actually?
This is why I'm trying to get Sienna back into. That's what's like.
Is it actually really good?
I really liked it, but I liked the Beckham one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fair. Last question. If you had to finish this sentence right now, I'm not there yet, but I'm working on. How would you end it?
Taking over the world of nutrition.
Yes, Sarah.
No, I do want to have a bigger presence.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm working on trying to be really helpful in the right way,
Nice.
and I'm just gonna try and take a step back. So I do so much strategy stuff at work, do it personally, and just kind of see how I can help as many people as possible. Bigger field.
Love it. And I have no doubt that you're gonna smash it.
We'll see.
Literally.
We'll see.
Thank you so much.
Thank
This has
you.
been really fun. If anyone wants to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
I'm hitting this on my Instagram, but this is part of my strategy is to be better. It's Sarah J Nutrition. So that's my Instagram. And my website's the same, sarahjnutrition.co.uk. But I'll send them over so you've got them.
Amazing. Thank you.
No, thank you. Yay. Woo. I bet that was well over an hour.
Give me a love. That was so good. I love that. Oh, you smashed it.
Oh, it was good.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Notes from the Not There Yet podcast. If you like this episode, please give us a follow or a subscribe. It means the world. You can also check out the website notthereyetproject.co.uk or follow us on all your major channels at Not There Yet Project. All right, we'll see you soon.